Good morning, we're Jacob and Jenny and we have arrived in Copenhagen.
Today we are trying to fit in as much of Copenhagen's top sites as we can. There's so much to do here, from castles to museums to churches and everything else in between. So we are going to have a busy day.
Let's get started.
Our first stop today is here at Rosenborg Slot, also known as Rosenborg Castle. It's a 17th century castle built right here in the heart of Copenhagen by King Christian IV.
So we just finished walking around and touring Rosenborg Slot, and if you like fancy things, this is the place for you. The second floor is where the grand ballroom is, which has, lots of different fancy dishes, and there was one room with dishes that were all glass that had such a unique way of shelving it, something that we hadn't seen before. And then the ground floor we were also able to tour, and that one was more of the residence, which had different, things from all different time periods of the rulers here that lived here. And then in the basement is the jewelry, the treasury, so where all the different crowns and jewels are stored, which is always nice to see if you're interested in that sort of thing. And also there's a very large collection of wine there as well that apparently they still drink, which is pretty nuts. There's also a lot of ivory and amber, like a very big collection of that, as well as different weapons, which I'm not as interested in, but it was still nice to see all the different things in there. So it took us about an hour to get through the castle, which wasn't too long, and we got to see quite a bit. Overall, I thought it was pretty enjoyable and a nice way to spend an hour here in Copenhagen. So for lunch we had Schonnemann's, which is a traditional smorrebrod. We'll probably put the name here of how that is spelled. Restaurant, which is an open-faced sandwich, but definitely has a lot of toppings and stuff on it. And we learned that the traditional way to eat it is with beer and schnapps to kind of cut the fat of it. So it is a hearty lunch, very tasty though. And plan to spend some time, if you're thinking about doing something like this, just relaxing, enjoying several courses of food, and taking your time to do it.
And if you want to know more about Danish foods, make sure you subscribe to see our next video, where we're going to be doing nothing but trying as much food as we can throughout this city. There's so much good food, so we're really looking forward to trying all
as
that.
much as we can,
so
for sure.
Make sure you join us for that.
So our next stop today is at the Botanical Gardens here in Copenhagen, right across from the Rosenborg Palace that we were at earlier. And I think we're just going to take a nice little bit of our afternoon to walk around and enjoy the nature here. So the Botanical Garden here is kind of split up into, I would say, maybe 3 parts. So there's the main garden grounds that's kind of just open to the public. And then there's the greenhouse part that has the palm house and a butterfly garden, and those you have to pay separately. One advantage that we have here is that we have the Copenhagen card. So the Copenhagen card allows us to get into a variety of places throughout the city, and you just kind of buy it by the day. So we bought it for 5 straight days, so we were able to access several things throughout the city, including pretty much everything we were doing today. Some things we're doing tomorrow, some things we already did earlier this week, but so far we've been able to get a pretty good use out of that, and it also is for using the metro and public transit here as well. So that's been really helpful, so I recommend getting that so that you can go to awesome places like the Copenhagen Botanical Gardens. So we just left the palm part of the Botanical Gardens, and it was interesting because you get to get a sense of what plants were in each climate, and some of them were hot and humid like you would expect. The camera lens is all fogged down. It's so hot up here. I'm so sweaty. And some of them were like drier, cooler, but it was definitely interesting to kind of see how it was divided up through all the different types of plants and get a good sense of where different plants were coming from, and also just very nice and calm and relaxing inside. So the next part we're headed to is the butterfly garden. The line looked pretty long, so hopefully we'll get in quickly, but let's go. So we're now in the butterfly house portion of the botanical garden, and we don't see any butterflies yet. Hopefully soon. Here we go. The butterflies are this way. The butterflies flying around. Yeah, that didn't take very long, although waiting in line took a little bit longer. But I think we're done with the botanical gardens now. We're probably just gonna walk through it to go back to our next stop.
So our next stop is the Round Tower, which is the oldest observatory still in use in Europe. It was built in the 17th century by King Christian IV and is supposed to be an excellent place to get some views of the city and the surrounding area. So let's start climbing. So the way up the tower isn't stairs like most places. It is just this spiral ramp that seems like it keeps going and going and going.
So we made it to the top of the observatory, and you can see quite a bit of Copenhagen from here. So it's a really nice view up here, and also just nice to be up here on a sunny day. So if you want a unique way to go see the whole city from a nice eagle-eye view, come to the Round Tower. It's a unique way to get up, and then you have a nice view of the city. And it's not that time consuming either. It only took us about a half an hour to go up to the top. Is Church of Christ our Savior, or something like that. We'll put the name on the bottom. But this church is noteworthy as having one of the best places to observe Copenhagen by climbing outside of a tower to the top. We'll see how far we get, or we'll see how far I get. Jacob is fine climbing to the top. We'll see how far I get. So let's go do that. The stairs outside are this narrow. I don't think I want to do it. Oh God. I don't think I want to do it. Pretty view, but I'm scared.
Look at these views, holy cow, you can just see forever. Oh man. You can see the Rosenborg Castle, the Round Tower, everywhere that we've been earlier, you can pretty much see from right here. Up over that way. Then you have the harbor down here, the Opera House, you can see over to Sweden, the bridge over to Sweden. Ooh, it just keeps going and going. And then as you walk around, you just get a different view of the whole city. Just a whole 360.
Am I gonna get down? This might actually be harder than going, well, I didn't go all the way up, so. Without hitting my head. This is a nice view, and it's inside.
Whew, we made it back down. That's quite a hike to get up there through like the inner workings of the tower. It's pretty cool to see kind of all the old construction and just the huge beams that are put up there to hold everything up. And then just, ooh, I think those are some awesome views.
Yeah. I didn't go all the way up to the top of the steps. Maybe Jacob has some nice footage to show you. I didn't go up. I went up a few steps, but I was good with that.
So we ended up spending our little evening kind of strolling along the canals of the beautiful Christianberg neighborhood over to the harbor. It's just been a wonderful way to soak up the city. Everyone's out and about just enjoying the water views. And I think we're going to be doing the same by getting dinner.
All right, so thank you for watching. We do have a few more days here in Copenhagen, not too many more, but a few more. So we'll have a little bit more things we do in some future videos.
Until then, bye.
Bye.